So we started having services here in this church in January of 2016. And Rob and Vicki happened to be the first people that we actually sat down and studied the Bible with for an entire year.
Growing up with my grandmother, she's the first one that introduced God to me. She died when I was 9 years old, and that broke my heart. I was very close with her. Pretty much ever since then, I had started getting away from God and started doing drugs and alcohol, and nothing was, I could never get enough of it. For too long, it got to where I lost some friends, and I knew I had to cool it. Stop doing certain things and kept drinking alcohol to pacify things. I met Vicki through a friend. We got married, and things were good. So I thought, there's a still small voice that told me, you don't have to drink anymore. And that voice said, well, you need to do something, like go to let's say an AA meeting. I reached out, met a friend of mine that's in the rooms in AA, and we talked, and we prayed together. It started a awakening with trying to come to grips with myself, to know God. I found out that I'm not alone, and I did find out that there's a lot of people like me.
We were brought up Lutheran. So was Rob's family. We were brought up Lutheran, we got communion, we got confirmation, and then we decided whether we were staying in church ourselves or not. Did stay for a while and then moved down to South Carolina. Didn't get back into church down here though until about 2001. These words in my head, you must go to church, you must go to church, for an entire weekend. So guess what I did that Sunday, since it's a Sunday church, I went to church. That would be my very first experience, I would say, he was talking to me. So I went to church, and then 9/11 happened shortly thereafter that. And I grew up there, so I knew how many people were in those buildings or could have been in those buildings. And I was in Buffalo, New York, that same time 9/11 happened, and I was stuck in Buffalo, New York for 5 days. So I think that may have had been something to do with me getting to church. Then I've gotten in and out of church over the years, more out than in. One of my girlfriends found an event site for Dr. Collins's health seminar that was going to go on here at this location. And she asked me to go with her, so we both came. I walked into the church as they were doing the tithing in their last song. My friend wasn't here yet. I had no clue what I was walking into, because we didn't learn half the stuff that I heard that day. And it's straight from the Bible. But I stayed, and it all worked out. During the health seminar, Sandra had mentioned she was having a vegan cooking show the next day. So I went home and let Rob know that, hey, this was cool today. There's a vegan cooking show tomorrow. Would you like to go? And he agreed, and we both came back that next day. I assisted the ladies doing the cooking show.
I was very surprised to hear that Vicki wanted to come and help prepare for the cooking class. Vicki asked me if we needed any help for the next day. And anybody that knows me knows I'm gonna say, yes, we do. I told her, please be here at 9 a.m. And sure enough, she was the very first person that showed up before anybody else from the church. She was here before me. We had about 86 people here for our cooking class, and we prepared lots of food. and she stayed until the end.
He sat in the audience and got to try all the food. And we never looked back. That was it. We never left this church since then.
When I met Rob, I could tell there was something that Rob was searching for something in his life. I believe that Rob was at a point where he was open to the gospel message.
There was something that I could not get enough. It was God was missing, and there was a hole in me. When she came back that night from the doctor's class, there was a gentleman that attended the meeting. He had wrote some scriptures down, and I was looking at some of the scriptures. It got me thinking. And once I got the taste of God, His church, His people, His truth, His word, started filling that hole.
Our church just showed up at the right time in his life.
A lot of genuine people, not just people in your face saying they care for you or they want to help you, but you can genuinely feel the love and the care that people have for, or you have for other people.
It was a divine appointment for us to meet Rob at that point in his life. We started having services here in this church in January of 2016, and Rob and Vicki happened to be the first people that we actually sat down and studied the Bible with for an entire year. And Rob has just blossomed and flourished, and we see the changes in Rob and Vicki right before our very eyes, the power of the Lord to change a person, to recreate them into His image. And they actually were our first baptized members into the church.
I have woken up, and that old man is dead. It's like I was born again. I like to say to those who support the cooking classes, all the ministries in the Carolina Conference and elsewhere, thank you. Those ministries is what brought me into this church.
Of course, a big thanks goes out to anybody that was involved in teaching us that there is a truth out there that we did not learn. That would include our pastors, our fellow congregants, as well as any of the people that came and ran special events for us. We've learned lots. I'm sure we have lots more to learn. Just a big thank you, and continue your good jobs.